Everyone, welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, founder at Online Seller UK, and today we've got really interesting topic, and it's happening topic really, which is why is Amazon sellers are wasting money on AI, and AI has sort of I wouldn't say taken over the world, but in somewhat it's trying to anyway. So I'm joined by Joe, who is founder of Amazing Wave. And I think let's start with your introduction, Joe. Welcome to our podcast and take it from there.
Sure, sounds good. Hi, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you today. So a little bit about me. My name is Jo Lambadjieva. I am the founder of Amazing Wave, which is an AI for e-commerce sellers consultancy. What we do is on one side, we educate e-commerce and Amazon sellers how they can use AI to essentially save time and money. And on the other side, we also evaluate or reevaluate or reimagine current existing processes to incorporate AI and automations to essentially make these processes faster, cheaper, better, stronger. and so and so this is kind of my remit. Also, I'm the publisher of the AI for e-commerce sellers newsletter, which is read currently by about 13,000 people and counting, and also the co-host of the New Frontier podcast, which I think right now is probably the biggest AI for e-commerce sellers podcast out there. So yes, I geek about AI on the regular.
Yeah. That's good. So bringing on AI to Amazon sellers is face it. So let's see. Let's talk about what sort of things Amazon sellers are using AI for at the minute.
Sure. When I talk about AI, Amazon sellers using AI, I like to categorize normally Amazon sellers in terms of their level of adoption. So for me, from all the conversations I've had with sellers, I kind of categorize them in three categories. There is the sort of I would call them the AI deniers or the AI naysayers who, they've heard about AI, but they think it's probably just a fad. Everyone's spending way too much time. It's a bubble. Or they maybe think, okay, this might be something, but it's not on the agenda right now. So they are actually not really doing anything about AI. They're kind of putting their head under the sand, which is fine. The second group is I call them the AI shortcutters. So the AI shortcutters are Amazon sellers who know that AI is probably something very important, but they don't have time or resources internally or themselves, which is completely understandable because if you're an Amazon seller, you don't have time. But they basically, what they do is they go straight ahead and pay quite a lot of money per month for what I call a wrapper tool. So these wrapper tools are essentially they sit on top of a popular large language models such as GPT-4 or Claude, and they have been sort of pre-trained or pre-prompted by their creators to do a certain function. Most common example is, for example, product listing optimization. And a lot of these tools are great, but they have their own limitations. And so these type of sellers, they prefer to just pay like, $50 to $100 every month and use this tool, which is AI tool, and kind of removes some of the heavy lifting from them. The third group are really the AI adopters, and these are people who really understand the potential that AI has, and they are trying actively to educate themselves to understand how these large language models work, to understand what is possible in terms of their own adoption in their company, and they are investing actively in training their team. So all these three groups have various levels of obviously AI adoption, but obviously for me, I always recommend aim for the third group.
Okay, good. So it's good categorized, and then obviously there are quite a lot of people are taking advantage of the tools itself. Um, So let's talk about a little bit of specific on the AI is a obviously general word, but there may be specific tools in between you want to talk about.
Yeah, so there are a lot of by the way, I just want to make the point. There's a lot of great AI wrapper tools. I'm not saying don't use them, but what I generally, when I talk about tools, I always like sort of advise all of my clients to really understand the foundational tools that a lot of these wrappers are built on and learn how to use them first. And then after that, search for the sort of the next, I guess, upgrade. Because with a lot of the foundational capabilities of tools like ChatGPT or OpenAI's Playground, which is essentially what ChatGPT sits on top, where you can actually access all of the large language models that are produced by OpenAI, and you can build your own sort of like mini agents, or you can connect APIs and different tools, so you have much more capability. When you have access and you know how to use this, when you know how to prompt the sort of these tools, you can actually unlock so much more value inside of your company, and you can absolutely execute to your standards and to your parameters, like most of the tasks that some of these AI wrappers are selling. And for me, one of the things that I always challenge people to think about is, how do you know what an AI wrapper has like trained this bot to do, or how has it been prompted? Do you know which model it's being used? Like, for example, a lot of these wrappers are using still GPT 3.5, which is kind of one of the first modules. It's good, but it's the cheapest, and it still hallucinates a lot. And so a lot of the output they're getting is not that great, because obviously the AI wrapper is trying to like save money from all of the tokens that it's using, but this is not in the best sort of advantage for the seller. And so I always challenge sellers to really think, okay, do you really know what you're paying for in terms of what the output is? And probably you can do this on your own, just with a little bit of knowledge and training. So yeah, that's kind of where I see the tools landscape at.
Okay, excellent. So I think we with sellers in place, obviously they are um, quite limited with time, as you mentioned before, and sometimes new things like AI can get, well, it can be complicated to see, and it's a lot of time investment if you try and
Absolutely.
do research and things like that. But obviously, obviously the aim of AI is um, to speed up the work you do. And you've mentioned, one of the best to use it could be the listing optimize and things like that.
For
So
example.
what else? I'm just bringing you back to some of the functionality that AI can do. So what are the other suggestions that you have that AI can help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, so for Amazon sellers, say using, I mean, there is a lot of tools, and in my practice, I suggest a lot of various also AI wrappers. But for example, if you are using something like ChatGPT or Claude, specifically ChatGPT is brilliant at anything to do with text-based and also some data analysis elements. Claude is incredible at analyzing large data sets of text-based input. So, for example, one of the things that I work a lot with clients is understanding, like, their customer in detail using AI. And for example, building that customer persona, understanding what the competition is doing well or not, what are the main benefits that customers are looking their products, like are basically valuing their products for. This is sort of a foundational knowledge, then you can build your strategy. Also, using something like ChatGPT can be brilliant for processing and categorizing a lot of data, which you can then build your strategy on. You can also use something like ChatGPT in certain parts of for example, your advertising campaign process. And then, there's, apart from ChatGPT, you can build your own customer chatbot that is sitting on your D2C site, or you can create a sort of an automation, which is between, let's say, ChatGPT, Zapier, to actually respond to customer inquiries directly. So your VA is only to check sort of the draft response and send it, rather than having to draft it themselves. There's so many capabilities. One of the things that I really love is automating SOP creation with AI. There's tools like Tango that actually just sit on the background and document the entire process without you having to type anything. So, the possibilities are endless, and that's why I'm saying, like, don't just try to shortcut your AI education. Like, basically start today, because you can include AI in every single part of your process. Maybe not the entire process, but certain elements can absolutely be automated.
Yeah, excellent. And one of the use I'm just thinking as we were talking about is the forecasting the inventory. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, forecast because it's obviously one of the most important part of selling online. So how have you seen people using it in that way for inventory
Yeah,
system?
so this is a common question, and I get asked about that a lot. So I would say you can certainly use AI for forecasting, like for inventory forecasts. The only thing I would say here is this is kind of, I'm removing my AI hat and I'm putting my sort of like being in the e-commerce space for a long time hat. And I'd
Yeah,
say, AI is not a magic bullet. Like, your inventory forecast is probably one of the most important tasks that, like, as a seller you can do to make sure that things go right. And you can use AI to, like, maybe sense check your forecast, but you yourself need to know all of the hypotheses that you have for your forecast. You need to put down all of your assumptions. And in the end, if, like, AI can help you with a lot of things, but you still need to understand how to analyze data, how to build yourself a very good model in a good old Excel spreadsheet before you get to the AI. So I always say use AI, but don't think that it's going to do everything. So for inventory forecast, use AI to sense check your work. Do your work first. Like, put down the foundation and then build off that model. But like the step one, which is with all of the assumptions, with all of your knowledge, build that, like do that from a human point of view, and then add the AI elements afterwards.
okay, excellent. So thank you very much for your time today. So we're coming towards the end. So if somebody wants to, talk to about their their Amazon products or their account, and how AI can help, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there, or you can send me an email at joe@amazingwave.digital. And obviously, if you subscribe to my newsletter, that would be awesome, because I jabber about AI 3 times a week, every week. So check out that. You can find that on my LinkedIn, AI for e-commerce and Amazon sellers. So yeah,
Excellent. So thank you again for your time today, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.
thanks.